Welcome to the introduction video to Selva, a UI builder plugin for Grasshopper. And in this tutorial, we have a little setup here already, where we will then build a UI for. So I'm quickly going here through all the parameters, and it's like a very simple setup. And let's wire it up so it's compatible with the plugin. So we use to define inputs for the UI, and also then later for Rhino Compute. We use these hops input components, and so we combine, for example, here the sliders. So you get the input, and then also with Selva there is a custom get value list input, so it will automatically make the value list then available to the UI components. And so the main component here is this UI builder. The UI builder handles basically all communication with the website or with the builder, and so we can basically enable it, and then we see like where it's running, and we can open it up with right click. And so we have here the main screen, and now we can start defining basically the whole UI with a name for the UI, and then, for example, instance solve that will immediately solve the solution. So let's take that out for now. And there are a couple of ways to build the UI. Here with right click, we can basically define a path. So it will automatically create a tab and a group for it. And then we can either drag and drop, or like also with the right click menu, add them again. We can also drag and reorder, and also we get some options, for example, rendering the input slider as a number input instead of a slider. So like, let's show this here. So we have a number input. So you have the options to render either or. So let's go with sliders for now. And so here we have the UI builder on the one side. So let's enable immediate solve for this tutorial. And so now, as soon as we start dragging the sliders, we see immediate feedback based on the Grasshopper script. And so for the moment, we don't have any outputs, and we can simply define that with the simple outputs we can define with the context print. And so we just give it a name that makes it recognizable in the UI, so we see it automatically adapts it. And let's add that to the output group. And now we have this output component here. And so what we're basically seeing here is now we can combine, set the input or the output better. And then we see immediate feedback on what is actually outputted into this context print. So, and maybe you don't want to only have values or simple values. Maybe you want to make the whole part to a file. And here you have the options to define that. You can basically output everything that Rhino can also output as well. Some stuff already works better than others, but 3DM files are so far the best supported, and also step files. So what we see here is basically, as soon as we combine a file output, we set it in a context bake component. So we have immediate the possibility to download this whole file. The file will be then downloaded as a zip file, and we can decide to also output multiple files at the same time. So here you see the result of the download. For some people, it might be beneficial to have a direct viewer, like a direct web viewer. This will be the same later for Rhino Compute when it's coming, and we have the possibility to define a material. So let's make a very simple, like metal-like material. And we just drag that into the 3 material input, and now we have like a display output. We also set it in the context bake, so that's important to use context bake here, otherwise it will not detect it. We can give it a name, but it's not like super relevant. So you don't see any input display, it will not show it to you. But as soon as we, for example, enable the local renderer, and we go to the interactive preview, we see like the display. So now we can also set the background, so you have like some flexibilities here. In addition, we can also save states. So like if you have different states that you want to share with customers or like internally, you can store them and share them, and then users can try different states. So we can load them back in, load the file, and we get like the original values. Let's do that again. And so that's how you can save states. And maybe you also don't want to have like different UI layouts for different reasons. So what's also possible to make, for example, here, we make a different group, a different tab, and we can add that to the second tab, for example. And then we can basically, with the new UI, we can export it directly. And now, for example, we have another UI again, and maybe we want to revert back to that new UI, so we can like directly import it, and you get the new or the old UI then again. And so this is a basic use of Selva, and Rhino Compute capabilities will then come in form of a bigger project, probably beginning of next year.